In our first story, the Supreme Court has, in a unanimous decision, ordered that the Kennedy-Japan contempt case is transferred to a different judge. The court said Justice Amos Wuntawuni is prohibited from hearing the matter any further. This was after lawyers for the MP had accused the judge of demonstrating hostility towards them. Mr. Japan is facing the charge of contempt for comments he made, which Justice Wuni had asked that he justifies why he should not be sanctioned for it. Let's hear a lawyer for Mr. Japan.
We respect the court. We are thankful to the court. It's been our case to have this matter resolved, and that has been our posture. And I want us to understand it that way without any misreportage. I thank you. If there are any
Would
questions,
you consider this a vindication of the position you have held against Justice Wuni from the very onset?
Exactly so. And if you, at the hearing, you realize that the court itself took note of the emphasis we placed on paragraph 19 of our affidavit in support. And all of you were at the High Court. You were witnesses to proceedings, including matters that I would not want to make reference to. But we respect the court system, and we believe that at the end of the day, what we want is for justice to manifest, and that is all we want.
Now to some unfortunate news, and 2 persons have been confirmed dead and others injured after a loaded Kia truck ran into traders in the WALEWALE market last night. JoyNews' Ilyasu Tanko joins us with more. Ilyasu, so we are looking at videos of the truck which ran into traders now. Do we know how it's run into these traders? Ilyasu, if you can hear me, how did this accident occur? Right, and we will get in touch with Ilyasu Tanko, but the video you see currently on your screen are images from the WALEWALE market where this truck ran into a group of traders. It is unclear whether or not the fault came as a result of careless driving or a mechanical failure, but currently this is the state of affairs at the WALEWALE market. Now, the Central Regional Police Command has drawn men from over 6 divisions to build the confidence of residents at Mankesim. The service is asking the general public to volunteer information leading to the arrest of the killers of the Member of Parliament. President Akufo-Addo on Monday charged the IGP to find the killers of the MP at all costs and make them face the law. Richard Kojonyako joined the police team and has come through with this report.
It's been 5 days since the MP from MFANTSEMAN constituency, called Kwanzaa Hayford, was shot and killed by gunmen. 2 persons are currently receiving treatment at the hospital over the injuries they sustained. The police in the Central Region have assured they will hunt down the perpetrators of the act and make them face justice. Central Regional Police PRO Irene Sewopon explains why the police have multiplied in their numbers and have pitched camp at Mankesim, all in their bid to get the perpetrators.
The Central Regional Police Command has withdrawn men from divisions, Swedro Division, Mankesim Division, Asinfosu Division, the Regional Police Command. We have support from the Counter-Terrorism Unit and also FPU from Accra. The objective for this patrol is to build the confidence of the general public within Mankesim and its environs. We know what happened on Thursday dawn, that we lost a member of parliament. We want the public to know that when it comes to security issues within Mankesim, the police is on top We are waiting for information. Investigations are ongoing concerning the incident that happened. That is the robbery. And we are assuring the general public that we will do whatever we can to make sure that the perpetrators are brought to book.
As their activities continue, the police command wants the general public to support them in their efforts to apprehend the suspects by volunteering information.
Again, we are using this video to appeal to the general public that anybody who have information concerning the perpetrators that we are looking for, they should go to the nearest police station, ask for the district or unit commander, and deliver that message to him or her. Or you can call the police hotline on 18555. 18555. So this evening, we are going to show force, and also we promise that this activity will be sustained, and the police command will keep on changing the strategies so that the criminals will not be used to our mode of operations. Thank you very much.
The stretch that recorded this incident still remains dark because there are no street lights on. Richard Kwejunyako, JoyNews, Cape Coast.
Let's take you back to WALEWALE, where that truck ran into some traders at the market. Ilyasu Tanko has rejoined us on the line. Ilyasu, great to have you back. Tell us how exactly this accident occurred.
Well, we understand the accident occurred last night, and when I went there, I saw this particular Kia truck loaded with what the residents told me to be a chaff, being transferred to Bolga in the Upper East region. So eyewitnesses said the driver, they believe that the driver might have lost control as a result of what they believe to be faulty brakes, and so he ran into the marketers. As we speak, we understand 2 persons have been confirmed dead. One died instantly at the spot, and one other person also died at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. 3 of them are currently being treated at the same hospital in Tamale. And so the residents believe that this accident occurred as a result that the driver lost control as a result of faulty brakes.
Is the driver okay?
Well, I spoke to the eyewitnesses there. Some of them told me that the driver also suffered an injury, and so he's part of those that have been treated at the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Ilyasu, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Now, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. James Opombueno, has appealed to the traditional authorities and other stakeholders to be ambassadors of peace in the build-up to the December polls. He made the appeal during a visit to the Bono East region to inspect the operational readiness and capabilities of the region towards the 2020 general elections. Correspondent Anas Sabit has more.
The General of Police, Mr. James Opombueno, is in the Bono East region on a working visit to assess the operational readiness and capabilities of the Ghana Police Service in the build-up to the December general elections. He will be paying a courtesy call on the Bono East Regional Minister, Mr. Kofi Amakohene, where he will be engaging him on the RCC's readiness towards ensuring that there is peace before, during, and after the general elections.
It has been a very challenging region because it's a new thing, but I must say that your men who are leading the security here has done a marvelous job. And indeed, the logistics that you have also supported the region with, of course, we will need more. But I believe that if you help us along that line, we will provide peace in support of your administration also.
The IGP assured that enough logistics and personnel will be sent to the region to improve the security of the region.
Talking about logistics, let me say that because Bono East is a new region, whatever resources that we get, definitely our attention will be here. This issue about personnel, I've just been informed that 56 more personnel will be sent to you. In fact, I'm sure very, very soon, within less than 2 weeks.
The IGP has been engaging the Nananom of the Techiman Traditional Council also, where he has called on the traditional authorities to be champions or ambassadors of peace before, during and after the December polls.
We
all know how the youth listen to the traditional authorities when you speak. Kindly let them know that violence does not help in solving problems. So they should know that elections is not about conflicts. Acting President and Akwamuhini of the Techiman Traditional Council, Nana Osu Jari II, noted that the police institution is a noble one and must therefore uphold a high sense of professionalism and impartiality in the discharge of their duties.
Abatfo munsem esrahu unhwe nipa nim bi ho a the men.
We call on you not to be selective in dealing with electoral matters relating to the NDC and the MPP. Please be fair and firm in dealing with both parties in order to have peace. There was a brief demonstration of the police readiness to combat ballot box snatchers who are aiming at causing mayhem on the election day. The IGP then addressed the media on the purpose of his visit to the newly created region.
I'm here in Bono East region on a one-day working visit. And the purpose of the visit is to assess the operational readiness of the police in the region. Apart from that, we'll meet the personnel and find out whether they have any challenges that will militate against them before, during and after the elections. We'll also meet with stakeholders, and when we meet them, the message we carry to them is that they should help the police in providing security for the community by advising the youth particularly to avoid violence and to avoid doing anything that will mar the peace and security of this area.
From the Techiman Divisional Police Command here in the Bono East region, my name is Anas Sabit for JoyNews.
Now, welcome back. The NPP General Secretary John Boadu has disclosed to JoyNews that the wife of the murdered MFANTSEMAN MP Ophelia Hayford has been selected as the parliamentary candidate to contest the upcoming elections. The MP Kwanta Hayford was seeking re-election in the upcoming polls. In fact, he was returning from a campaign when he was attacked on the Abadze Dominase Abadze Diaze Mankesim Road at about 1 a.m. There's more in the following report.
This will be the third time a wife of a deceased member of parliament will seek to replace her late husband in the parliamentary election. In March 2016, NDC parliamentary candidate for the Shai Osudoku constituency, William Oklu, died in a car crash few months after he had defeated the then incumbent NDC MP. The NDC opened another primaries to replace the deceased candidate, where his widow, Mrs. Linda Akwele Oklu, emerged victorious after defeating the then Executive Director of the National Service Scheme, Dr. Michael Pesa-White. Mrs. Oklu, a professional teacher, explained that her reason to contest was as a result of her ambition to fulfill the aspirations of her late husband. Mrs. Oklu went on to win the December 2016 parliamentary election. She is currently seeking a second term. Fast forward in November 2018, Emmanuel Chematin Ejako, the NPP MP for the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, also in the Greater Accra region, died in the U.S. while seeking medical attention. His wife, Mrs. Lydia Al-Hassan, contested the seat in the famous Ayawaso West Wogon by-election of 2019, where she emerged victorious. Her swearing-in was characterized by protest from NDC MPs who held placards labeling her as Bloody Widow. And now to the latest. NPP General Secretary John Boadu says the party has settled on Mrs. Ophelia Hayford, wife of deceased MP, to succeed Mr. Eko Kwanzaa in the MFANTSEMAN constituency.
The whole constituency leadership and party deem it fit that we should let the wife continue.
Mr. Kwanzaa was shot by suspected highway robbers in the early hours of October 9 while returning from a campaign trip in the central region. Mrs. Ophelia Hayford, an assistant superintendent of police, has since Tuesday, October 13th, resigned from the Ghana Police Service to accept this new role.
Away from voting, and the security expert Colonel retired Festus Abuaje says the move to provide members of parliament with protection is a self-centered one. The Colonel argues it deepens inequality in accessing security, which he describes as security apartheid. Following the shooting of MFANTSEMAN West MP Eko Kwanzaa Hayford, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry announced the assignment of 200 police officers to protect members of parliament. Speaking on Prime Morning on Joy Prime TV, Colonel retired Festus Abuaje expressed his disappointment.
The move, to put it bluntly, is self-centered. This tendency of parliamentarians, to look after their interests first, and sometimes not even address the interests of the rest of society. I mean, we know that the police hasn't got the numbers. We know they haven't got the requisite tools. We know that there are, a certain number that retires every year, a certain number that is forced to resign for disciplinary reasons, a certain number who may resign themselves. Now we get the picture that let's look at the executive side, let's look at the judiciary side, and then let's add the legislature. We're probably talking of a figure between 600 to 1,000. That is taken from this 37,500. The police does other duties, including international duties. There is a certain category of police officers who don't do patrols by nature of the appointments that they hold and the ranks. So we need the constables, we need the corporals, we need the sergeants, and we don't have them in enough numbers. So why do you take the little that you don't have and assign to the team? By this arrangement of yesterday, we have widened the inequalities in society. And now I've started calling it security apartheid, which is simply more security for some and less security for others.
Now, also on this show was Chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, Seth Echampong, who revealed the minister has been summoned to outline plans to secure the safety of Ghanaians ahead of the election. He disagrees with Colonel retired Abuaje.
When we are doing Operation Calm Life, who is Operation Calm Life for? And why is Operation Calm Life being deployed? Why is Operation Conquered Fist being deployed? Who are we deploying all these operations for? These are set out programs by the established security services to help with our public safety. And all these exercises are ongoing. My next call is to find out how the deployment and what strategies are we expecting the services to offer us in the times we're in. We're in campaign mode. The tension of the country is higher now. How are we going about it? I have had opportunity by virtue of the position I occupy to have been in certain meetings and briefings. I'm expecting that the larger population hears of the arrangements that are being done. I have asked the managers of the sectors to come and offer us the status report. I'm sure when that happens this week, there will be further briefings. We will also ensure that whatever plans that are supposed to be rolled out are rolled out in the open for all to know how the larger public is going to be protected.
Now, some members of the public find the move by the state as necessary for the safety of MPs. There are some views from the streets of Accra.
Well, I don't have problem with it, but of course, I think government should look at the general, to beef up the general security of, everybody here in Ghana. Well, I can't say no to, our MPs because we all know the role they play. But, it all came when, in fact, the unfortunate attack on our MP, MFANTSEMAN MP, came. And aside the MP, there were people who, in fact, were also attacked. And the common Ghanaian, doesn't feel safe.
I really don't see the use, because it's like we are in an election and it kind of like always happens that there are attacks on MPs because of seats and things going on. So, and there are other areas where the police is more needed than just to escort MPs to go and campaign and then come back because of this. I think the MPs should be able to hire people who can take care of them rather than trying to like pick from the force where already people are not already enough to be stationed to other places that are really needed.
And I think the best thing the government can do is to put up a best preventive method, to prevent all this, what we're experiencing now. For example, what happened in MFANTSEMAN. So I think we can have it in that way for an MP, each MP to have one policeman, or it can be possible. We are not there yet as a country. Yeah, this is what I think I suggest.
I think it's necessary. They need protection.
Why?
Yeah, because if the MP shot to death, if he was to be having a protection, no one would have shot him to death. Okay. So it's necessary. They need it.
What about the citizens of Ghana?
The citizens of Ghana, we are protected. We have been protected, all right. But the thing is that, because we are ordinary human beings, as for the MPs, they have some rank. So, like, people target them more than we, the normal human beings. So I think they should be much protected than we, the normal human beings.
Okay.
It's very, very necessary for them to get a security, each MP, because if there was some protection, if there was a protection, I don't think the man would have been killed. Okay. So I think it's necessary for them to employ police for all the MPs. They are also protecting us. So they also need a protection from them so that they can be secured. Okay. Because if there was a protection for the MP, no one would have killed the MP because he was working alone.
Now, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, is promising to introduce an Employment Act to provide a framework for job creation and also to help with generating labor statistics. Speaking at its weekly press briefing, Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jainfi, added that the NDC will create a 3-shift economy to meet the demand for increased production that will come as a result of its private sector stimulation. My colleague, Kweku Asante, will join us with more. Kweku, what does the 3-shift economy mean? Kweku will join us a bit later in the bulletin, but now let's take a few messages. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Before we go to business, let's take you back to that story that the NDC has put out concerning the creation of an Employment Act. Kweku Asante, is standing by to explain this a bit further. He's our journalist. Okweku, what has the NDC been saying is the rationale behind this?
Democratic Congress. If you go to Europe, particularly and other Western countries, they have a three-shift economy. And this three-shift economy means that every specific person in an economy or a company works maximum 8 hours a day. But they say that in Ghana, there are people who are working 12 hours or more than 12 hours. And they say that by putting together this new Employment Act, if Ghanaians give them the mandate again in this year's election, they are going to put this act together, which is going to make it compulsory for all companies or for all industries to have 3 levels of workers. Those who come and do the first 8 hours of the day, the second 8 hours of the day, and the third 8 hours of the day to make up for the 24 full hours of the full day. And so the NDC is saying that by doing this, the economy is going to expand. More people are going to get jobs because unlike now where one person can be doing all the job for the 24 hours or a double shift of 8 hours each, if they put together this Employment Act, it will mean that this work will be stratified into 3. There will be the first 8 hours, the second 8 hours, and then the third 8 hours before the day ends. Daniel.
Kweku, thank you very much for bringing us this quick update from that news conference held by the NDC. It's time for us to make way for business. And when Daryl joins us, he'll be telling us how the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has projected 0.9% GDP growth rate for Ghana this year. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
Hi everyone, welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The International Monetary Fund is forecasting a gross domestic product growth rate of 0.9% for this year. This is a disclosure from its latest World Economic Outlook report. Charles Nixon-Yeboah has been looking through and has some more.
Is slightly below the ones being projected by the World Bank, Fitch Solutions, and the Bank of Ghana, whilst the World Bank is predicting a GDP growth rate that will make the country a top performer in sub-Saharan Africa. Fitch Solutions is predicting a GDP growth rate of 1.3%, also making Ghana an outperformer in the sub-Saharan African region. However, the fund is forecasting a GDP of 4.2% for next year, and that will come as a good omen for government, enterprises, and consumers as tax revenue, earnings of companies, and disposable income are expected to shoot up. The reason is due to an expected significant jump in economic activities that will stimulate demand and supply. With the exception of Ivory Coast, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, the country will outperform 46 sub-Saharan African countries. Growth on the continent will, however, contract by 3%, with both South Africa and Nigeria recording huge negative growth rates.
Now, cowpea farmers at Fumbisi in the Boso South district of the Upper East region have been introduced to new seed varieties and improved technology to help them increase production. Regional correspondent Albert Sori has more.
The Innovation Laboratory for Legume Systems Research is a project being implemented by the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research in collaboration with the University of California, Riverside, USA. The objective of the project is to reach out to less empowered farmer groups in underprivileged communities and give them access to agricultural technologies and resources to help them increase their productivity. Dr. Francis Kusi is lead research scientist at the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute.
There are some communities that serve as food basket so far as agricultural production is concerned in Ghana. And because of where they are located, most technologies does not reach them. Most scientists don't take their research to them. And so in doing their best, they still recycle their old practices, old varieties, and other things. So it's on that basis, that today we say let's reach out to farmers in Fumbisi. Well, because of their location, part of that disease are called overseas. They are far to reach. But these are farmers all over the Ghana. There's a name tagged to them when it comes to rice production. Every year, you hear Fumbisi so far as rice production is concerned. But that is just one of the good things the farmers there are doing.
80 cowpea farmers selected from Fumbisi in the Busa South district of the Upper East region attended a one-day workshop at the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute at Manga in the Binduri district to acquaint themselves with new technologies and improved seed varieties.
We know cowpea as a poor man's meat, as we always term it. It has high protein content. But in addition to this, these varieties also are rich in high iron. They are iron-rich varieties that are also good for pregnant women and the babies, children. So we are even looking for an opportunity to also collaborate with Ghana Nutrition Department of Ghana Health Services to see how we can incorporate some of these varieties into their program in preparing food for the malnourished children and then the pregnant women. And one of them, the Wankai variety, the taste is something different. It tastes very well. And these are the things that we want to push to farmers, for them to produce, to create more income for themselves.
The farmers were excited about the new knowledge they acquired from the workshop. Some of them said they were eager to go back and apply the ideas on their various cowpea fields.
I came here to learn a lot about cowpea. When I came, it's true that there's a lot of cowpea I've seen. As I'm going back, I'll be able to use it and then teach the rest of the farmers that I'm working with.
I'm a farmer of cowpea, granules, maize. At my place, my crops, we have this thing, the striker. But I've learned here that they said the Kekos Benga, when I plant it at my place, and the Wankai, I will no more get striker at my crops.
For JoyNews, Albert Sori, reporting from Binduri.
We have the latest in business coming up at the top of the hour. Up next, sports.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the sports segments with me, Oreku Wampofu. We start off from the local scene where President of Midday Sporting Club Moses Hammer has all but confirmed that star midfielder Justice BLAY will continue to don the yellow and mauve jersey despite strong interest from Kumasi, Asante Kotoko as well as other clubs. We have more for you in the following report put together by my colleague Haruna Mubarak.
Asante Kotoko have been hoping to sign Justice BLAY permanently after he impressed during a loan spell with the Porcupine Warriors in the cancelled 2019-2020 season. The negotiations between the two clubs seem to have hit a roadblock as the Takwa-based club $50,000 demands appear to be exorbitant. Last week, reports emerged that BLAY had gone AWOL. Communications Director of the Mauve and Yellows, Patrick Akoto, in an interview with Joy Sports, said the club was working on finalizing the transfer tussle.
Kotoko, just like other clubs, have made inquiries and we are still talking. We've not been able to reach an agreement on the figures involved, and this is where we are, and that is why we are extremely scandalized and petrified that we will find ourselves in a situation where we have to be talking about an issue about tapping up at this age or this era of our football. It's extremely unfortunate. But like I said, discussions are still ongoing between the top echelon of some of the clubs that are interested in our starman, and we will hope to find an amicable truth to this whole Telemundo, which has dominated the major inches in the Ghanaian media.
However, president of the club, Moses Ama, says the 28-year-old will stay in Takwa to help the club attain its ambitions.
We were negotiating on his transfer back to Kotoko, but you know, I think they couldn't come on the right offer that Midema is expecting. So we are going to discuss on the board today too. Their last offer they brought, but I don't think it will be very good for us to release him on that offer, because as if we leave him, we have to get another same replacement. So look at the tax Gophers has given us today. So why should we rush? We are not rushing, because we want to do is we want to be the part of the great clubs in Africa as well. Probably, yeah. For now, I will tell you he's staying. He's there. He's in Takwa now. And he's going to be happier, more than Kotoko, when he stays there.
Reports have emerged that Kotoko submitted an improved offer as they seek to add BLAY to their midfield ahead of the new season scheduled to commence on November 13. Midiama will open their campaign at home against Great Olympics at the Akun Park.
Hello and welcome to Showbiz here on JoyNews today. I am Peter CBD. Now, actor Elikem Kumoji says his decision to focus on his foremost passion, which is fashion, has brought in more revenue than acting. Speaking on Joy Prime's Opinions with Seligali, he said that although acting has its rewards, it is not as financially satisfying as his fashion career. His comment comes after months after he was picked on by other actors for advising talents to find a day job aside acting. He also told Saligali that months after that incident, some of his colleagues who had misunderstood him came to him seeking advice on how to grow a side business after being affected by COVID-19.
Best thing I did was to think about finding myself a day job other than acting. A job that was going to bring me revenue. Because with the trends of acting and seeing how things were going, you know, I wasn't A top list actor where, you know, Nigeria would be calling me back and forth. Actors make money, don't get it twisted. They did make some amount of money back in the day. Now it's not too good. I'll just speak for myself. But while I was acting, it wasn't too resourceful for me. I wasn't getting enough. I wasn't getting as much as I wanted, and I felt like I could do more. And fashion came to me naturally. So the day I decided to focus and have a discipline and concentrate on fashion most, something that was more passionate to me, I started making money off it. Yes, hard work overrides talent, okay? And there's two things. Robert Schuller said this. He said, by the yard, it's hard, but inch by inch, okay, life is a cinch. 1 inch at a time, you can get to 36 inches. Okay, so whatever you need to do, take it one small bit at a time, and you said it, focus, discipline, and learn more in the area where you want to work, what you want to do. You need to advance your brain and your thought and your production skills and better ways of packaging and better ways to sell. Read about how to sell, how to market, how to get better skin products. And the more you focus and concentrate and keep working hard, you will knock. It doesn't matter. Anything you find yourself doing, even if it's a waitress, be the best waiter you can be. And